Let's be honest. Health insurance policies can feel like they're written in another language, right? They're dense, they're complex, and they can be pretty intimidating. But what if you had a decoder ring? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do in this explainer. We're going to break down a real policy, the tataaig Medicare Premier, so you can understand any policy with a whole lot more confidence. I mean, if you've ever just stared at an insurance document and felt your eyes glaze over, you are definitely not alone. It's a super common feeling. But by the end of this, I promise you'll have the map you need to navigate it all. Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the most important document you'll ever fill out, your application. From there, we'll dive into the good stuff, the benefits. Then we'll tackle the fine print, exclusions and waiting periods. After that, we'll cover how renewals work, and we'll wrap it all up with the one big thing you need to take away from this. First things first, the application. You might think it's just a bit of paperwork, but no, it's so much more than that. It is the literal legal foundation of your entire insurance contract. Everything that follows is built on the information you provide right here. The whole thing really hinges on this term you see here, material fact. Now, that sounds technical, but all it means is any piece of information the insurance company asks for that could change their mind about insuring you. It's basically your complete and honest story. And this is where it gets really serious. This isn't just a friendly suggestion from the policy, it's a direct warning. If your answers are incomplete or even just a little bit off, it could lead to your policy getting canceled. And that's the last thing you want when you actually need it. Total honesty is, without a doubt, non-negotiable. So what are these material facts they're asking about? Well, as you can see, it's the whole shebang. The basics like your name and address, sure. But where they really zoom in is on building a complete picture of you, your past insurance, your current health, and even your lifestyle. And this section right here, this is the big one. This is where you have to pay the most attention. It's not about them being nosy. It's about you creating a totally transparent picture of your health so they can fairly and accurately figure out the risk they're taking on. And yeah, the questions get super specific. They're going to ask about past hospitalizations, chronic conditions, even symptoms you've had recently, or if a critical illness runs in your family. I know it can feel like a lot, but the rule of thumb is simple. When in doubt, just disclose it. You'll also have to choose your policy type. An individual policy is pretty straightforward. Each person gets their own pot of money, their own sum insured. A family floater, on the other hand, pools that sum insured for the whole family to share, which can often be a more cost-effective way to go. Okay, so that's your side of the bargain, total transparency. Now let's flip the script and look at the insurer's side of the promise. Let's get into the key benefits and find out what this policy will actually do for you. All right, the heart and soul of any health policy is inpatient coverage. That means the costs you run up when you're admitted to a hospital for more than 24 hours. But it's not just the hospital stay. It also covers your medical bills before you go in and for a good while after you're discharged. Plus, it covers things like daycare procedures, treatment at home if you can't get to a hospital, and even the medical costs for an organ donor. It's pretty comprehensive. And this table, it's a perfect illustration of how you really get what you pay for, in a good way. Just look at how the limits for things like an ambulance ride or your annual health checkup jump up when you choose a higher sum insured. It shows that paying a bit more in premium can buy you way more comprehensive coverage for everyday stuff. Now, this is a cool one. What happens if you have a massive claim that wipes out your entire sum insured? That's where the Restore benefit kicks in. It's like a backup generator for your health cover. It automatically refills your coverage for any other claims you might have in that same year. It's a fantastic safety net. And beyond the core stuff, a Premier policy like this one has all kinds of extra layers of coverage. We're talking about features for big life events like global cover or maternity benefits, wellness programs that actually reward you for being healthy, and really crucial financial protection for things you don't think about, like an emergency air ambulance or even those small but expensive hospital consumables. All right, we've seen the promise, we've seen the good stuff. Now for the part that every single empowered policyholder has to understand, the rules. This is all about what is not included and maybe even more importantly, when your coverage for different things actually begins. So here's the crucial thing to get. Your full coverage doesn't just switch on day one. First, there's a 30-day wait for most illnesses. After that, you've got a 2-year waiting period for a specific list of conditions and also for any pre-existing diseases you told them about on your application. And for something like maternity benefits, that kicks in after 3 years. So what is a pre-existing disease anyway? The policy's pretty clear. It's any health issue you were diagnosed with or treated for in the 3 years right before your policy started. And this, right here, is exactly why that full disclosure on your application is so, so critical. And then you've got the permanent exclusions. These are the things the policy will just never cover, period. They usually fall into two buckets: medical things, like cosmetic surgery, and non-medical things, like injuries you get while breaking the law. Okay, understanding all those rules is huge for when you need to make a claim, but just as important is making sure your policy stays active year after year. So let's quickly look at the rules of renewal. The rules are pretty straightforward, but you've got to know them. You get a 30-day grace period to pay up. The insurance company can change your premium, but they have to give you a 3-month heads up. And this is a big one. They can't refuse to renew your policy just because you made a claim. And as long as you've been truthful, you have the right to renew it for life. So, we've gone through the application, the benefits, the fine print, the renewals. What's the big picture lesson here? What's the one thing you absolutely need to take away from all this? It all boils down to this. An insurance policy is not just a product you buy off a shelf. It's a partnership. It's a two-way agreement. Your job is to be completely transparent from day one, and the insurer's job is to honor that agreement when you need it most. So, here's your action plan, your new checklist. Number 1, read everything, especially that proposal form. 2, disclose everything. 3, understand the timelines and the limits. And 4, always, always, always renew on time. You do these things, and you're not just a policyholder anymore. You're a true partner in your own health security. Look, reading an insurance policy isn't some secret code that only experts can crack. It's a skill. And like any skill, all it takes is a little bit of guidance. You've got the map now. And hopefully, this explainer has given you the confidence to read your own policy, ask the right questions, and really understand the protection you've got.